Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at our like functionality. I think this is the only main feature we haven't implemented yet, and we should be close to ending the series. We still need to create an admin panel, and I'm going to be covering that as well, but I think the main kind of user-facing stuff, we're almost done. So let's get started, guys. I have my code editor on this side. Let's open it up. Now, we already have a likes column on our ideas table. Now, I'm not quite sure why I added this. I think I was just kind of on autopilot when explaining this part. We could technically use this column to store our likes, but it has two main issues. First one is potentially two users could like at the same time, so this number could be incorrect. Another issue is we don't really have a record of who has liked what, idea. So we will need an additional table to track who has liked what post or what ideas. So technically this is going to be obsolete. Now we can go ahead and just remove it from here and wipe our database and start again. But the proper way of kind of dropping columns is you need to create a migration for it, especially if you have an application on production. So let me show you guys how you would do that, in an actual project. So you would start off by first creating a migration. So I'm going to say PHP artisan make migration, and then you need to give it a name. So I'm going to say drop likes from ideas. Okay, and instead of drop, you can also say remove. It's up to you which one you use. I'm going to say remove likes from ideas. Hit enter, and this should go ahead and create the migration for you. And generally, you want to kind of say from whatever your table name is at the end, and Laravel will go ahead and automatically detect it. I think it just picks the last thing as your table name. And now we should kind of see it already detected our table name. If it doesn't, for some reason, you can just go ahead and type this over here, or just copy it from another migration over here. Now, in order to drop a column, you can just say use this table blueprint here and say table dot drop column, and this will go ahead and drop any column you like. In our case, it's going to be likes. Now, this is going to be for up, which is going to migrate the table. What if you want to do it down, which is going to revert the changes? So in order to revert it, we basically need to add the column again. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and copy it from the original migration we had. Now, I don't think we're going to ever run this, but this is kind of good practice to have. Okay, so that's it. So let's go ahead and run our migration. PHP artisan migrate. Let's see if it works. Yep. Now, previously we were getting 0. I assume now that we have removed it, we might get an exception. I'm not sure. Okay, we just don't see anything. It's fine. All right, so it did work. Now, I think I also had it inside our fillable. And I have it as a singular like. It should be likes, but it doesn't matter. We weren't really using it. Let's get rid of that. So let's get to the actual table you want to create. So we are going to create a many-to-many relationship between our ideas and our users. Now, we could technically name it, idea user. That's a horrible name, in my opinion. So I think I'm going to name it idea like. Now, for pivot tables, generally the convention in Laravel is to use singular. I kind of explained this on our follower tutorial. It's going to be very similar. So I'm going to also follow that. I think I'm going to name it idea like. I think I comes before L in English, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and create our migration first. So I'm going to say PHP artisan make migration, create idea like table, hit enter, and I have mistyped artisan. And now that we have the migration, guys, I think for the migration, we're going to keep it simple. We need 2 foreign IDs. So one is going to be for user ID. Okay. And we need another one for ID. Okay. And as always, we're going to say constraint, constrained, and also say cascade on delete. Now, you don't necessarily have to add this, but we're just adding a database level check to make sure we're not liking some post that doesn't exist. And if we remove a post, it will automatically remove all the likes for it as well. Okay. Now you can also go ahead and get rid of this ID if you like, or the timestamp. I'm going to keep it for now, especially the timestamp. I would like to know when a user liked a specific post. Now, some people like to use something other than this created at. Maybe that you like to add a liked at instead of created at. So it's totally up to you. You can do that on a real project. For now, we're going to keep it simple. And yeah, now that we have that, I think we can go ahead and run our migration. So let's say PHP artisan migrate. Now, as I explained, guys, on the followers episode, our follow button, we don't really need a model for pivot tables. So we can just go ahead and directly define a relationship on our models and have a many-to-many relationship. So I'm going to go open up idea and also user next to each other. Now for our ideas, I'm going to say public function likes. So this will give us all the likes, or all the users that have liked this post. And to define a many-to-many relationship, similar to our follow functionality, guys, I'm not going to go too in depth because we already covered this, but we are basically going to use belongs to many. Okay, very similar thing to what we did for our follow functionality. So I'm going to say return this dot belongs to many. Then the class that we have a relationship with, which is going to be the user class, user, and then class. Now, generally, if, for example, our table name was, let's say, idea user, we didn't actually need to define the table name. But in this case, we are kind of not following the convention. We have idea like. So we need to pass in the table name. So I'm going to say idea like. Now, we still also have the option of defining the foreign pivot key and related pivot key. But since we are actually on our migration, we are using user ID and idea ID, which is going to be the convention. We don't actually need to define them. Laravel will automatically detect those. Right? So this is going to be very nice. And I'm going to actually go ahead and duplicate this for our users as well. Okay. Now, one more thing, in order to make sure the timestamps work, we need to say with timestamps, and this will ensure the created at and updated at fields are set up properly. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to copy the exact same thing for users, except we need to change this to idea. And Laravel will handle the pivot key and things like that, the switch here, automatically for us. Okay, so now that we are done, guys, we have our migration, we have our relationship. We can go ahead and actually set up the form over here to submit this for our users. Okay, so in order to handle that, guys, we need a route. We also need a controller for it. So let's go ahead and define the route first. And I'm going to copy what we did for our follow and unfollow. But instead of for follow, we're following a user. Here we are liking an idea. So I'm going to say ideas. And then here we're going to have an idea, right? So it's going to, this argument or this variable is going to be the ID of the idea we want to like. And then instead of follow, we say like. And then instead of unfollow, we say, I guess, unlike. That's the term. And then for the controller, now here, one convention, guys, is obviously here I'm just kind of following the action. Some people like to use store and destroy. Okay. And obviously, if you're doing destroy instead of this post, you're going to do delete. It's kind of up to you which one you want to follow. Whatever you do, just be consistent throughout your project, right? That's the main idea behind it. Now, I might actually go ahead and change this with store and destroy, but we'll see. For now, I'm just going to say like and unlike. So we're following the same convention we did for our follow and unfollow. And then for the route names, I'm going to say ideas dot like, and then ideas dot unlike. Now the only thing remaining is we need a controller. So I'm going to say PHP artisan make controller, and let's name it idea like controller. Okay. And that should get the job done. And inside here, we only need two functions. We need a like function that accepts an idea, right? We are doing route model binding. So idea, and then we need another one for our unlike. Now for the functionality, I'll come back to that in a second, guys. For now, let's just leave it empty. Okay, I think now we can go ahead and say idea like controller, and then same over here. So now we have our route set up. We have our controller. No functionality yet, but that's okay. We'll do that in a second. Let's go ahead and actually define the form that's going to handle this, right? And I'm going to do the exact same thing we did for our follow functionality, guys. Kind of very similar, okay? So where is this? I think it's inside idea card, right? Yeah, let me show you guys. It's inside idea card. And we can go ahead and refactor this a little bit later on, guys. I might do it on the next episode. But this is, I think, where we have the like button, right? Yep, it is. Now, because we're going to have a form, I don't want this idea card to get too big. It's already getting a little bit big. So I'm going to extract the like button inside its own file. Okay, so let's go inside ideas. And I guess I can start refactoring right now. So from now on, I'm going to put everything, kind of the partials or the included Blade files inside their own related folder. So like button is related to ideas. I'm going to put it inside ideas, and then I'm going to move all of these later on as well. So let's start off here. I'm going to say shared. And then I think we can say like button.blade.php. And if you guys have noticed, I like to refactor as we go along. Okay, I think that's the best way to go about it, generally speaking. So that should be good. And then now that we have that, I can go ahead and say include ideas.shared.like button. Now we still have idea card. I think I can move idea card inside here as well. Let's move it inside our ideas folder. Do you have any other idea related stuff? Well, we have submit idea. We could also move that inside here. Now this will break a bunch of stuff on our form, so I need to fix that. Here we are using idea card. I have to say ideas.shared.idea card. Also, are we using this anywhere else? Actually, I'm not sure. Are we using it on the dashboard? Yes, we are. So I have to say ideas.shared.idea card. And then I also need to update the submit idea. So this one is going to be also ideas.shared.idea card. Let's just test. Let's see if everything works. It seems to be working. I hope I didn't break anything. Yep. Okay, seems to be working, guys, somehow. That's good. So now that we have done a mini refactoring, this shared folder is a little bit smaller. Now we do have a lot of user-related stuff. I'll move those later on as well. But I don't want to get too sidetracked. So now that we have our like button, guys, we can go ahead and add a form to it, okay? And we're getting these brackets for the likes. That's because we've removed it from the database. Totally fine. Let's find our like button. Where is it? Like button. So obviously this likes doesn't exist anymore. Totally fine. What we can do here, we can actually refer to the likes relationship and then use count, okay? So to get the number of likes. And now instead of this bracket, we should get 0. Good. So let's go ahead and add our form around the button. And let me format this. For the action, we are going to send it to route ideas.like. Now this route takes an idea ID, so I'm going to pass in idea ID just like this. And then for the method, it's going to be a post. And as always, we need the CSRF, okay? CSRF. Good. And I think we are good for this. Now for the A tag, I'm going to go ahead and replace this with a button. I hope it doesn't break the styling. But we will see. And then for href, I'm going to replace this with type submit. All right, and let's see if it works. I'm going to click on the button. Yeah, it is working. Now, it takes us to the login page. Obviously, we can only like when we are logged in, right? And if you look at our route, it has the auth middleware, right? So we need to be logged in to use it, which is exactly what we want. So let me go ahead and log in. I'm going to click on the like button again. And yeah, now it is working. So we are basically seeing a blank page, which is what we had on our controller. So let's go ahead and implement the like button in a second, the like feature. So idea like controller. This is our controller. So when we are liking, guys, it is going to be exactly identical to what we did for our followers. So the person liking, so I'm going to say liker. I don't know if that's the proper terminology in English. It's going to be the person that's logged in, right? The logged in user. So I'm going to get the logged in user. And then in order to add a many-to-many relationship record, we can say liker, get the relationship, which is going to be likes. And you get the relationship kind of instance using the brackets, right? If you don't add this, it will give you an array of liked posts or liked ideas, which is not what we want. We want the relationship itself. And then on it, you can go ahead and call a method attach, okay? So this attach is only available for many-to-many relationship. And then you can tell it, hey, attach or basically add or insert a record for whatever idea you want. So you can pass in either the idea ID or you can pass the model itself. Laravel is very smart enough and it will automatically add it for us. And I think that should get the job done. And then once we have done that, we can just basically redirect the user. Okay, I'm going to copy it from our follower because we already have the redirect here. So let me add it over here. Now, instead of redirecting to the user profile, maybe we can go to the dashboard page or maybe to the page for that specific post. And then for the success, we can say liked successfully, something like this. Now, technically for a real application, guys, you're not going to be reloading the page. You should probably use JavaScript or we can use Livewire. And I will actually cover that later on in the course. Once we're finished with everything, I will rebuild both this and the follow functionality using Livewire. Okay. That's it, guys. And then for the unlike, it's going to be the exact same thing, but instead of attach, we're going to say detach. That's all we have to do. It's the exact same thing we had on our follow functionality. Okay, guys, I think that should get the job done. Let's go ahead and test it out. I'll do a reload. I'll click on the like button. And boom, now we have 1 like. Let's try another post. Yep, I think it is working. Okay, so these two have a like. Now we need to have an unlike button when we have liked it. So let's go ahead and add that. I'm going to add another form for unliking. So let's add it over here. And I think, that's good. Okay. So this one is going to be ideas.unlike. And I would also like to change the heart shape as well. I'm not sure if it's going to be FAR. Yeah, so I think if we haven't liked it, I'm going to have an empty heart. And then when we have liked it, to be like a full heart, right? So in order to achieve that, for when we are liking, like, I'm going to say FAR. And I think that's a regular in font awesome. Now we do need to find a way to kind of check if the user has liked the post or not. We can do that relatively easily. Let's go ahead on the user model. And we already have that for follows. So we can just repurpose that. Instead of follows, I guess likes post. We can't really say likes because it's going to collide with this. And then instead of a user model, we can say idea. And it shouldn't be likes post. It should be a likes idea. Yep. Now, the only difference is instead of followings, it's going to be likes. Although we could have named this idea likes as well, but this should be okay. And then where user ID should be where idea ID equals to idea over here as well. And this will allow us to check if this current user is liking any specific idea. So now that we have that on our button, guys, we can add a very simple if statement. We can say if auth user likes idea. And again, this idea is being passed down from our idea card, guys, all right? We are importing the like button inside the idea card, so we have access to this like variable. If that is the case, let's add else over here. Now, if we have liked it, I think we should swap these two actually. So if you have already liked it, it should be on like button. And if you haven't liked it, show the like button. And let's do a quick reload. And it looks nice. Good. Now, I think you can write this if statement a little bit better, but I think you should get the job done for now. Super simple stuff. Nothing crazy. I think we have the number of likes also properly shown. Let's do a quick reload and see if it works or not, guys. So these two are filled out hearts. These two are kind of empty. Let's click on them. Yep, let's see if unlike also works. Yep, it works. So we have successfully implemented the like feature, guys. Now, I do like to also do a few more things before we end this episode, guys. And there is a line we show here under comments. And when we don't have any comments, it just looks weird. I don't like how this line is just in the middle of nowhere. So I would like to get rid of it. Let's try and find our comments box. So I'm going to say comments box. And I think this is the line. Let me check. Yep, now we could technically remove it, although it does look weird here. I do like the line. What I'm going to do instead is, instead of this for each, I'm going to replace it with for else. And this one is going to be and for else. And if you guys remember when we used this for else on our dashboard page, we can use an empty state, right? So basically, whenever we don't have any comments, it will show whatever is under this empty condition, okay? And instead of no results found, we can maybe say no comments found. And this R should be capital, okay? Let's do reload. Hopefully it works. Yep, I think now it looks a little bit better. At least, you know, this line is not there for no reason. One more thing I would like to also fix, guys, is when we are logged out, and here we are getting likes idea. Oh yeah, we also need to show the like button. See, we already found a bug. So it's telling us likes idea does not exist, and that's because I logged out, and obviously the current user does not exist. So one thing we can do is add a check to only show this when the user is logged in, okay, the like button. So let's go ahead and find our like button. And we can say auth. if we are logged in, show this. Now, if we are not logged in, we do need to still show something, just because we need to show how many likes it has. So we can add a guest as well over here, and maybe just show the number of likes, okay? I think this should be enough for now. Now I'm gonna have it be an A tag and have it send the user to the login page. I think that should be better. So they can go ahead and log in and then, you know, come back and like. So let's say a route login. And I, for some reason, broke our class. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a quick test. Yep, we fixed our error message. And as you guys can see, now we can see the number of likes. And if I click on it, it should send me to the login page. It does. So another issue, guys, we have is we don't have the ability to view someone else's profile when we are logged out. And I think this is an issue with our routes. So I would like to fix that today. Let's find our routes. Where is it? I think we're defining the user routes over here. And yeah, I think that's the issue. So we have the show inside here, and it's getting the auth middleware. And if you guys remember, auth middleware forces the user to be logged in. So I think I'm just going to remove it from here and then basically define only show on its own and not give it the route middleware. And this should fix the issue. Let's do reload. Nope. So, okay, it's getting us shared idea card does not exist. So we have another place we are using idea card. Now, if you're on VS Code, you guys can do Control Shift F or Command Shift F and search for something. And it will give you something like this, all the use cases. I think it's similar functionality exists on PHP Store. It might be, I don't know, probably the same shortcut key, but it's a useful feature. Yeah, we are using it on 2 pages. So let's go ahead and fix all of these as well. Ideas.shared, and then also here as well. Good. And I hope this fixes it. And while we're at it, we have one more thing we are missing, guys. We are not showing the number of followers. I would like to also add that. So let's do that real quick. And I think it's inside the user card. Yep. And since we already refactored the shared for our ideas, let's do that for users as well. So I'm going to create a folder called shared inside our users and move user edit. And this will break some pages. That's totally fine. User card. Do we have any other user stuff? Is it follow box? I think follow box is the one on the left. So I'm not going to move it under users. So inside here, we do need to update our edit and show page. So this one is going to be users.share.usercard, and then same thing for the show page. It's going to be users.shared.usercard. Let's just make sure it works. It does. Now inside the user card, guys, I think that's where we have our like button, right? Sorry, our followers. Yep. And this one is duplicated on our idea card, user card, and user edit card. So I think we can extract this as well. And now, obviously, if we previously had it inside this shared folder, we would have gotten very big. Now it's a bit easier. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to name it userstats.blade.php. And now we can go ahead and extract these stats to that user stats and include it over here instead. Users.shared.userstats. And we need to do the exact same thing on user card as well. We could probably extract some of these user related stuff as well, like the username. For now, I'm just going to leave it here. And now that we have that, hopefully it still works. It does. Good. Now, in order to show the number of followers, guys, very easy to do. We can just go ahead and do the exact same thing we done for the number of ideas and say, I think followers, right? That's the relationship name. Let's just check. Yep. Now, right now we have 0 followers. Let's try another account. Yeah, so it is working. Good, good. We could maybe show the number of likes as well. How many ideas they have liked. I guess while we're at it, let's add that as well. Why not? No harm in doing that. And I think it is FAS heart for the icon name. And instead of like comments, it's going to be likes. And hopefully it works. And it does. And we have 2 likes now. The spacing is a little bit off. How can we fix that? We can say you can copy this, which is margin end, which is going to be margin right. And I'm not sure why Bootstrap uses margin end. It used to be, I think, margin right on Bootstrap 4, but it is what it is. And I think, guys, we have officially finished all the changes I wanted to do for today. Very nice. Last but not least, guys, one thing I do want to show you. This video is getting very long, but if you would like to change the UI a little bit more, and you want it to be different from what I have here, maybe we want it for your own personal portfolio, you can do that as well. If you go to the layout file we have, and I believe I have changed my layout file. It was a layout.layout. I changed it to layout.app, but that's besides the point. If you look here at the top, guys, I'm adding Bootstrap, but instead of just the regular Bootstrap, I'm using a service called Bootswatch. So you can go ahead and Google Bootswatch. It's basically like a customized Bootstrap theme, okay? So it has a bunch of existing themes on top of Bootstrap, and you can go ahead and use any of these. And I generally, if I'm doing like prototyping, I use Bootswatch to just change up the regular Bootstrap if I'm not using Tailwind. And it has different versions, and you can use any of these you like. So for example, right now I'm using Sketchy, okay? So if you would like to use a different one, you can just go ahead and pick the name, let's say Locks. And if you guys look at the URL, it's saying bootswatch.com. This is the Bootstrap version, and then the theme name. And just replace that with the lowercase version of the theme name, Locks. Go back to your project. And boom. As you can see, we get a completely different look. Let's try something a little bit different, maybe minty. I'm not sure if this looks good, by the way. Some of them don't look that good, but you can try if you would like. It looks different, that's for sure. But as you guys can see, if you would like, you can go ahead and change things up and get a different looking theme. Let's try one more before we end the video. Let's try Yeti. I don't know. It just sounds cool. Yeti. And that's it. So I think Lux was my favorite. I'm going to stick to that. Okay, let's change it back to Lux. And yep, that's it, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, as always, you can ask me in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you still haven't. And I see you guys on the next video. Have a great day. Bye. And today's video was a very long one, but I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Bye.